frame it all. Over here growing on our veggie wall in this garden, we have our pea vines that are now in decline. They're a cool season vine. So we're all done with this. I'm gonna cut these off. And I have new warm season vines growing up here. And this is an Asian vegetable called bitter melon. So I'll just take our vines here and just start to remove them. We'll put them in our composter. Just got to be very careful not to clip off the other vines as we're doing it. And I planted the bitter melon while I was still harvesting the peas, so I was giving that bitter melon a chance to develop and while I'm still harvesting. Taking the spent vines, clipping them up a little bit, and I'll just work that into the compost in here. Well, beautiful soil in a month or two from there. In the front of our garden where we were growing radishes earlier in the spring, I planted carrots. And these are dwarf carrot, and some of these might be ready for harvest in here. Pull up a few of them, just pull them up as we need them through the season. And it might get a little bit larger than that, but this is a dwarf variety, so they get about yay big. So I'll probably keep these in before I really start harvesting them, for another couple weeks, and then I'll pull them out as I need them. Our salad inside here, we're still doing some harvesting, but it's hot now, it's the summer. You're gonna get this melting out that occurs after heavy rains where it's matting down. But it's still happening. I'm still doing some harvesting, so I'll just kind of let that happen. And then what I'm going to do, it's mid-July now, towards the end of August, I'm going to start, my next crop of lettuce and spinach, and I'm going to grow right through the fall. And when it gets really cold, I'm going to take off our veggie wall and animal barrier, and I'm going to put our greenhouses on top and extend the season, for another 4 to 8 weeks past what you would normally be able to grow. This garden over here actually gets very limited amount of sun, but you'll see, because we really have given the soil a lot of nutrients, which is hoping to subsidize for that lack of sun, we have tomatoes growing up here, nice cherry tomatoes that are working, squash that are coming, and these are plants that need sun, but it gets limited amount of sun. It probably only gets about 4 hours max. We even have cucumbers, and these are Chinese cucumbers that will be longer, and they're just all starting to happen right now, growing up the trellis. And it took a little bit extra time because of the lack of sun, but it's producing. This garden is our bean garden. We don't get a ton of sun over here as well, but beans will do okay if you have some decent shade here. So we have bush beans with these little plants over here, and then we have the pole beans that are growing up the trellis over here. And they're just starting to happen over here, growing up here. These are all nice fresh vines, and we're, over here, this one is maturing a little bit quicker. We even got beans starting to happen, and this will just continue to produce beans through the summer. As our other garden, we've really tried to, with all raised gardens, try to really enrich the soil the best we can, especially if we're in challenging situations like low light. We want to make that soil that much better to retain moisture, have the nutrients, and that will help to subsidize a little bit for the lack of sun that we're going to get. This is a fairly new soil amendment that's out there. It's made out of the husk of the coconut. It's called core, and this will take the place of peat moss. It's great. It comes really compact. It holds a lot of moisture. And I put it a little bit on the top as a mulch, but I also mixed quite a bit of it within the soil, and really helps to retain moisture. Frame it all.